The delay in the resumption of the ANC's eThekwini conference has certainly brought into sharp focus renewed concerns about factionalism within the organization. In fact, KZN Chair Sihle Zikalala opened the conference yesterday by lambasting stark divisions in the party and said that national and provincial leaders should not interfere with regional structures. The confusion, or rather the contention, doesn't end there, though. Some at the conference are arguing, as you've heard from Ziyanda, that regional task team members should also be allowed to vote, which could, in fact, have an impact on the outcome of the conference itself. So what should you and I, who are onlookers, make of these developments? Let's bring in political analyst Dr. Zamo Mbandlwa now, who joins us via our video link. Doc, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for making time. Let me begin here. I mean, we've kind of remembered how the last conference in eThekwini unfolded back in 2014. There were real contestations. It collapsed several times. How worried are you that history could repeat itself today?
Thank you so much, Ayanda, for inviting me. Indeed, we should be worried, but it is not in the best interest of the ANC and of the membership in general and the voters for the ANC to collapse this conference. And it is a general practice where those who have the majority in the regional conferences and do not have a support of the higher structures, then because we cannot run away from the fact that each leaders in the movement, in the ANC and any other political party, they have their own interest in the lower structures because they are elected through the processes that are taking place in the lower structures. And in this case, I listened properly to what the Premier have said yesterday, and his speech was very interesting because he was very keen in saying that the ANC members must not be factional. But what really made me wonder is his being elected as the chairperson of the ANC in the province, because all leaders that are elected in the ANC are the results of a slate because they contest each other. So there is no way that you can be in the leadership position if you are not supported by a specific slate. And caucuses are allowed, and caucuses are taking place in all factions of the ANC. And what really made me wonder also is the issue of the RET, where he spoke about the concept of the REC. And I believe that the RET in the ANC is misconceptualized. Because if you look at the resolution made by the ANC in its last Congress, the way they explain the RET is completely different to what really it's supposed to mean to the people of South Africa. When we talk about the RET, the radical economic transformation, I just want to state something that has been said by a professor in Wits, who is a professor in economics, who clearly articulated the concept of radical economic transformation, which is actually different to what the ANC is saying in terms of the RET.
Right.
And this is applicable to both factions of the ANC in the region, provinces and national.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the RET, it means changing the composition of the output that the economy is producing and ownership and control patterns. Who owns the entities that are making most of the production in the economy, and who makes decisions about investment patterns, employment patterns, pay in the labor market.
Let me come in there, Dr. Zamo. Yeah, and I hear you. I mean, you certainly do get the sense that RET is almost like a tagline that's used as a political weapon, more than actually trying to get to what underpins the term, economically speaking. You've mentioned something very interesting. You know, you've already said that no person can get into leadership within these ANC structures without being backed by some kind of slate. Onlookers, ordinary South Africans, may wonder then how many of the people who end up taking up these positions do so on the basis of merit, on the basis of the kind of policies and governance strategies they put forward, versus just the alliance politically that they have.
Look, Ayanda, it is very difficult for leaders to emerge in the political leadership positions without being supported by a particular slate, because we are now at a time where the contestations are very high. And in the past, we had the layers of leadership. And what really becomes more problematic is the grooming of leaders. Those who are in leadership position, they don't groom the second layer of leadership. And this is why we always find ourselves in this situation in the country. And it's not only happening in the ANC. Those who are in leadership do not want to leave other leaders who are going to champion the interest of the organization. So that is the major problem that we have. Otherwise, if we did not have this problem, they were not going to contest each other like the way they are. If you look at, I will have a look at both factions of Mam Zandile and the one of Mr. Nyawose. If you look at Mam Zandile, she led in the region in various terms. And if you look at her experience and the things that she has done in the ANC in the region, and the people that she led with when she was leading the region, the likes of Minister Peggy Cele, the likes of other leaders who are in the province, and some of them are in national. So if you look at that, you can tell that there was no clear succession plan made by the ANC in the region to say, once this layer of leadership finishes their business, they will then move to the provincial, from provincial to the national. So now that's why you see this contestation. But what is also interesting in what is happening in the region currently during this conference is that from Friday, there were still issues related to whether the leagues are allowed to vote in the conference or participate in the conference or not. And the update now is that finally the NCU clique will have 12 delegates participating in the conference, voting delegates, and there are also some non-voting delegates. But the 12 will be participating and they will be voting in the conference.
All right.
And the ANC Women's League have 13 members who will be participating in the conference and voting.
And that's certainly important, if I can come in there. It's certainly important in a context where we know that it's a tightly contested numbers game. I mean, 12 and 13 delegates doesn't sound like a lot when there are 400 delegates at the conference in total. But again, when you think about how close typically these races are, every single vote counts. Dr. Zamo Mbandlwa, thanks very much indeed for your time. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Mbandlwa is a political analyst helping us better place the developments over the past 24 hours as they unfold at this hotly contested ANC eThekwini Regional Conference.